Hello! Welcome back to another episode of Philosophical Viking. Eating dinner, doing the talking. Now, how did y'all feel about that entry? Me coming in here, being on my phone and just fucking, doing the dazzle versus, hey guys, it's me Sebastian, the Philosophical Viking. Today back at you, eating dinner, doing the talking. Now, that was just an example of how to enter a room. Now, I didn't enter any room here since this is all one room that I was in. But how I entered in your space and in your room that you're sitting in right now was profoundly different. And I want you to think about that yourself the next time you enter into a room. How do you enter? Because if you capture yourself in a moment, and as you've done that in the entrance, try to stay there and to have the awareness of how is my energy vibrating. Not just in the entrance, but also how do you contain the energy that you entered with. I'm starting to enjoying this process of content creation now. I haven't done as many long format videos as I said I would. And to be fair, it was pretty ambitious to think that I would have the time and energy to do 30 minutes of recording every day. Now, I say that and I feel like I would like to chase it now and to push myself to do it. But then again, I'm thinking, is it better to have long form content in between and rather spend those 30 minutes of energy focusing on a different activity? Because we are doing this with a goal. We do have a goal in mind. Put it simple, the goal is simple. I am I am making content in order to grow my awareness for us to help 10,000 people onto the companion platform. Starting to effectively use the protocol in order to become more aware and deeper reflected. Because my opinion is that is healthy for a human to do. Much like going to the gym and exercising is good for your body and your muscles. And as I've now entered this space of content creation and in essence got rid of the people that I had in my team to do this process for me, I get to take full accountability for the process, for the systems, for the content, for the edits. And when I start that, and as my presence grow and the cumulative effects this will have in the long run, and as I've set the direction and the standard myself, it's easier for me to later, this is what we're doing, this is what we want, if you can do it better, great. If your contribution is not improving, then you don't belong here. And the changing of stages, where we've been in a phase of building for the past 2 years. So the focus has been on the building part, but now that this is sort of set, it's like being in architecture, and then you draw the house. The house is finished. The drawing is finished. And now maybe you do part of the foundational construction and you're involved in that. But then this has been established. Now the foundation's there, the drawing's done. So now it's just for everyone involved in that to finish the building. Not that it will ever be finished. It's always a continuous development. You get my point. I guess you get my point. See, I'm guessing. I don't know if you get my point. So if you don't get my point, the point is, now is the stage where we've built this house that we're now working on decorating. And expanding, always expansion in mind. So there is not much for me to do in that area. So I must change. That's the whole fucking point. I must change for it. And I'm happy to change. I love to change. If there is something people don't like about me, please tell me what you don't like. If I agree with you, I will adapt and change. And if I disagree, I'll just disagree. I will say, no, I don't think you're right here. And I won't be offended. Now, if you're trying to offend me, I will recognize this and take my actions accordingly. And to me, this is normal behavior. Picking up these subtle. I've learned that very few people actually pick up on these micro tensions and energies that people send out. And it's partially learned and partially observed in my own life and how I ended up becoming like this, but it's the over observing and analytical gathering of data about certain behavior that has caused certain feelings within me, where my brain just goes into hyper fucking observation and analyze, and it's just happening. It's not on purpose. Whereas now I'm in tune somehow, where I can just feel it in my body. And I yet have to figure out what this is. Seems like I know a lot of shit, but probably do. But as you learn to know more, you also learn that there is even more that you don't know. So the portion of knowing and the portion of not knowing gradually grows. But as the portion of what I know grows, the portion of what I don't know grows exponentially. And then there's the rest of the pie chart, where the stuff you don't know that you don't even know. And when you take that into consideration, you really understand how little you know. And then comes the adventurous discovery of, well, if there is so much I don't know, how do I figure out how to find out what I don't know I don't know? And then comes the question, well, what question will I have to ask in order to answer what I don't know that I don't know? Because I wouldn't know where to go. So how do I construct a question where, upon me answering the question, will give me an insight of, didn't know that. Now I do. And I didn't even know that I didn't know that. But now I do. This is what's going on in my brain tonight. We are still eating soup. I had a great conversation with my good friend Vincent today, and I've learned that he has Polish heritage, and that brought me back to Poland when I was there. That soup. I still remember the delicious soup that I got in Poland. Great soups. Though I had to make soup today. And this is delicious soup. I can feel that I'm coming in hot with the energy here today. So good. I was talking about content creating. So I'm finding myself enjoying this journey a lot. I started using Go High Level. Very nice tool. Very nice tool. I've now set up all my accounts for social media, so I can post from from one section of the universe on the computer. And I can now schedule posts. So I've scheduled a whole week of posts instead of having to go online, go to one platform, post the content, and then go to the next platform, post the same content. But now I can just have it all in one system, and I can just set it up, and that's it. And scheduling, which is fantastic. And this boils down to me being able to do more volume. I already know now that I've made sure that I have a piece of content for every day for the rest of this week. And it's only Monday. So now I will just start to fucking pack it up and just produce. Be producing and be scheduling. And just schedule. I'm gonna see how far I can schedule ahead. Maybe not too far ahead actually. Some things can be scheduled far ahead, but other things need some clearance because you need to learn from the data that you're gathering, where to go, how to pivot, when to pivot. It's gonna be fun. Never done this before. And that's what excites me the most. That's how. That's how you learn to know what you don't know. You have to do something you've never done before. And as you do it, you learn something you know. That's not true. It's not true because if say I wanna play the guitar, then I know that I don't know how to play the guitar. But by playing the guitar and doing something I don't know over and over, eventually I will know how to do it. But then there is the knowing I cannot play guitar. Now to think in other terms. Would there be an instrument that I don't know about, that I don't know if I don't know how to play? Or is there an instrument out there I don't know about that I knowingly could play? This is word salad. I'm confused now. This soup is good. Good job. I'm trying to change habits. But I don't quite know how to shift, and I don't know, is it my is it a weakness that I want to change some parts? Or is it a quiet strength? What's actually benefiting me? It's something I need to figure out. I'm so fucking excited. So excited about this content creation. It's a project I believe in. This is a project I believe in. I know that as long as I do this long enough, it'll be great. And I am a son of a bitch for putting my mind to, I'm gonna do this, and I'm not gonna stop until I'm great at it. And I have a pretty clear track record of doing so, and it's a blessing and a curse. It's both. I wanna see the blessings. Let's stop calling it a curse and just call it a blessing and leave it at that. That's a mind shift. Just leave the whole curse behind. Don't need that. I don't need to have a curse. I can just be blessed. Much better. Much better to not have a curse. It's a blessing and a privilege and an honor to be the person who gets to live this life that I get to live. It's a great life. It's been a rough ride at times, a very rough ride at times, but it's a great life. It's going to be one hell of a story. And I'm so thankful that you're here. I wonder how many will follow along. I have a feeling that there will be quite a few of us. We need a name. We need some time of name. Maybe if anyone has a comment for that, a name to call the movement, a proper name. PewDiePie had his bros, wasn't it? We need something. Something. Maybe something Norse. Some Viking thing. That'll be suitable. Could also be something philosophical, because I wanna gather people with a desire for deeper thinking. And I'm also of the belief that this is not just some people are deep thinkers and some are not. I think it's a skill that you can teach most people, most human. And based off my observations, I also know that it could be learned through dialogue with artificial intelligence. Just circle back to Companion, where I've gotten the question, how the fuck did you end up being this wise at such a young age? Now, I'm thankful that people think I'm wise. The reality is a lot of suffering and having intellectual dialogue with artificial intelligence with the intention of being questioned and answering questions. And now we're actually back to how do you find out what you don't know that you don't know? Because the key to it is asking the right questions that you wouldn't know to ask yourself. And this is where I have brought Companion AI into the protocol of it, where my thinking is now being deepened by the questions that Companion brings to me. And upon my answering of the question, Companion will ask yet another question that I would not think to ask myself. Hence, I'm being led into the unknowing of my own being, because I get to delve inside myself through these questions and learn things that, I wouldn't have thought about that if I was just sitting here alone. I'll leave it at that. And if you want to test Companion, go to com2.ai and sign up for free. You get a free 14-day trial. You get to test the full experience, how it is to talk to Companion, how it is to write your diary, and then start to accumulate your diary. I don't know, maybe you'll get some insight. My guess is you would. If you took it like an exercise and you showed up consistently, you would exercise your mind and broaden your perspective. I'm Sebastian Knorr, the Philosophical Viking. Thank you for watching. Please support us by giving a like, a comment, a share, and a follow. And do remember to hit that notification bell so you get that annoying little notification every time I post, which will be more often, increasing the volume. I wish you a pleasant night, and tack för maten.